Welcome everyone. Today we are going to discuss the first unit of EDA 822, that is the concept of supervision. That is what we're going to discuss today. And we have the questions taken from different years here. The first question, briefly explain the term supervision of instruction. And the second part of the question says, enumerate and describe 10 principles of supervision of instruction. That is for 2017 and 2019. Then 2021, we have these questions. How would you explain the term supervision? And the second part is explain any 5 fundamental principles of supervision. Then we have 1C, differentiates between inspection and supervision. I actually picked this from a different year other than 2017, 2019, 2021. All right. To answer these questions, we are going to structure discuss this way. We'd like to answer the question, what is inspection? Then, what is supervision? By so doing, we'll be able to differentiate between inspection and supervision. And then we are going to state the fundamental principles of supervision. All right, let's get into the discuss. What is inspection? Inspection belongs to the British tradition. According to the course material, we can define inspection as a process involving regular visits to school to check that everything is satisfactory and that rules are being obeyed by the principals, teachers, and students. Inspection activities focus on school administration and finding out what was not done right by the teachers. Take note of this as we move on. So you can try as well to define inspection in your own words. We can say inspection refers to the process which involves a careful check or examination of a program or series of activities to ensure that they are carried out in the right way, or to find out errors. That is to say, inspection is aimed at determining whether or not something is done in the right way or not. It is to determine whether or not programs are in the right order or are carried out in the right order, or they are not carried out in the right order. Now, let's talk about inspection, supervision. Supervision, on the other hand, originated from the American tradition. According to the course material we have, in American tradition, supervision was a kind of help or assistance to a professional colleague. In this case, it is the teacher. So it is a process through which the teacher help each other, counsel each other, plan with each other, and talk with each other about how to improve the teaching learning situation in the school. Now, let's discuss the differences between inspection and supervision to answer the question, what differentiates inspection from supervision? The first thing we'd like to look at is in terms of the origin and usage. Inspection belongs to the British tradition, while supervision originated from the American tradition. And now, what is the focus? Inspection activities focus on school administration and finding out what was not done right by the teachers. On the other hand, supervision in American tradition was a kind of help or assistance to a professional colleague, in our case the teacher, in the process of teaching. That is to say, whereas inspection is done primarily to detect error or to ensure that things are properly done or rules are strictly obeyed, supervision is aimed at providing a guide or assistance to an individual by a more experienced person. In other words, whereas inspection is aimed at detecting mistakes or error, supervision is aimed at avoiding mistakes or error. All right, we have discussed the meaning of inspection and supervision already, and we have seen the differences between inspection and supervision. Now let's discuss the fundamental principles of supervision. There are a number of general principles which guide the practice of supervision as well as discussions about it. These principles are as follows. Number one, there should be short-term, medium-term, and long-term planning for supervision. The short-term planning looks at the characteristics of the educational institution in the present and develops strategies for improving them by providing appropriate supervision to enhance teachers' skills and attitudes. When we talk of the medium-term planning, in the case of supervision, can be implementation of policies and procedures to avert any recurrence of short-term problem. And finally, we have this long-term planning. The emphasis here is placed on permanent resolution of problems to reach the overall targets of the institution. The second principle here is that supervision is a subsystem of the school organization. We know that the school organization is a system of itself. Then supervision is a part of the school organization. That is why we refer to it as a subsystem of the school organization. The third one, supervision is a dynamic and cooperative enterprise in the school system. It is a dynamic and cooperative enterprise in the school system. To say that supervision is dynamic simply means that it is continually changing and progressive in nature. And to be cooperative enterprise, we mean that there must be someone who is willing to offer the guide, since we said supervision is a form of a guide given to someone else by a more experienced person. So there must be somebody who is willing to offer such guide, and someone who is willing and determined as well to follow the guidelines and directions specified. That is what we mean by being a cooperative enterprise. The fourth one here, the fourth principle here, all teachers have a right and the need for supervision. That is to say that teachers have the right to be helped. If supervision is taken as the help given to someone who is in the school system, like the teachers, then we can say the teachers have the right to be helped and informed about the right way to carry out their function or their tasks effectively. And they have the right also to give suggestion and advice to their students. Supervision should be conducted regularly to meet the individual needs of the teachers and other personnel. I think this is quite explanatory. And supervision should help to clarify educational objectives and goals for the principal and the teacher. It is the responsibility of the class teacher to ensure that his class receives adequate supervision regularly. Then another one is that it is equally the responsibility of the principal to ensure that his school receives adequate supervision regularly. All these ones are already explained. Supervision should help to improve the attitudes and relationship of all school personnel in order to facilitate the realization of school goals and objectives. Supervision should assist in the organization and implementation of curriculum programs for the learners, and supervision should help the school to develop good rapport with the neighboring communities. And the last one here is that supervision should help to interpret or clarify government policies. We need to also know that the ultimate goal of supervision is to achieve an improvement in the quality of learning by the learners. That is the essence of giving such guide and advice to the personnel and the learners within the school system. All right, thanks for watching Maths Guru's video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our video so others may benefit from this service. Thank you and stay tuned.